need a real debate.
Okay, well, let's come over to Radu Stoenescu of Riposte, Laïque, secular response. I suppose from your perspective, this really shouldn't be an issue. Maybe there shouldn't be a discussion about whether there's minarets or not. Is that your feeling?
No, the discussion is always good. I don't agree with Mr. here because Lamarque, because I don't think we should mix the Islam question, the minarets building, with other questions such as xenophobia against French workers. I think the Islam is a real particular issue which should not be mixed with the other ones, and because Islam is a particular item. I mean, and I really definitely agree with you that we should have a serious debate about the nature of Islam and its compatibility with not only French law but European law in general, because it's not a matter of tolerance, it's a matter of law, in a sense that whether Islam is a creed, a faith, or it's a law, a positive law. So, if it's a law, Islam, it's a political project. If it's a creed, it's not a problem. But if we have a civil law which is implemented through proselytism, building of mosques, minarets, etc., there is a problem for democracy in general and for the European Europe as such. I mean, there have been decisions made by the European Court of Justice, in, the one about Refa parties in Turkey in 2001, which clearly states that a movement who wants to implement Sharia against European Convention of Human Rights. So, I don't know, are there Muslim associations who do not want to implement Sharia? This is an open question. Is there an Islam without Sharia implementing a project?
Should people have the right to build their minaret? Give us a line on that, please.
I think, I mean, Mr. Ramadan is always avoiding the real question about the political project, which is
let him answer that in a second.
So the fact is that, and what's the meaning of a minaret? The minaret has, in Islam, I mean, the meaning of a minaret is that from a minaret, in all the area which can be covered by view from the minaret, there should apply Sharia law. This is the meaning of a minaret in Islam. This is making political propaganda 24 hours a day.
Okay. That seems to me that it's going against what Mr. Ramadan was actually saying. He said it wasn't about that, it was about having a place of worship. But I hear what you're saying as well.
Worship,
we'll get him to answer that
worship, it's a vague word. What does it mean, worship Allah, for Mr. Ramadan? Who does he obey first, Allah or the secular state? He always says, okay, Muslims are law-abiding people, etc. Okay, but what is their political project? He declared recently that he is the spiritual heir of his grandfather Hassan al-Banna, who founded of the Muslim Brotherhood, and he said that his hair. How
can you say things like that?
Does he have the same goals as his grandfather?
Okay. Mr. Ramadan, is that the case? A minaret represents basically the jurisdiction of Sharia law.
Not at all. These are just, things that are completely foolish, and it has nothing to do with the reality.
Mr. Ramadan is always trying to portray Muslims as victims of some kind of discrimination from all parts of stuff.
Victim. We are not.
Mr. Ramadan, let me speak, please. Okay, if there is no obligation, architecture can change from country to country. So we can build Swiss mosques with our minarets as well. That would be the Swiss kind of building mosque. It's not like we cannot build it without it. And the problem with the calling to prayer is, I'm coming back to the focus, to the law. Calling to prayer is saying that follow the righteous path, which is actually, and do not follow the path of the unrighteous, do not follow the laws of the others, of the non-Muslims. This is what the call to pray. What the call to prayer is. So it's actually something political. Is political propaganda 24 hours a day. Is actually something which in France should even be banned by law, because actually a minister of cult, according to the law of 1905, cannot call people to resist political authority in its ministry. as a minister of cult. So actually, according to actual French law, the minarets and the call to prayer, if we look what they mean and what calling to prayer means in a political terms, they are out of the law, I mean.
Is the issue, do you think, because people feel the Muslim faith doesn't belong in Europe?
Yes, I think that we just heard what was said by the philosopher and the secularist philosopher, saying that, in fact, if you listen to what he's saying, the very problem, in fact, is Islam. If you call to pray, and if the very meaning of calling to pray means that you are not, you are having a specific belonging within the secular society, it means that it will be impossible, because Islam per se is pushing the Muslims not to belong to the country. While I think that we have to take...
Let me. We are democrats. Democracy are not compatible. I'm sorry, Mr. Ramadan.
I left you speak, so you leave me speak, please.
Go ahead, then, Mr. Ramadan. Go ahead.
And the point.
Would you be okay with that, Mr. Pardo? Mosques without minarets? You're happy to have that?
Yes, I am. But the question, Switzerland is not a specific or special case. It is special because a question was asked, because we are a direct democracy. I'm sure that if the same question was asked to French people, to Italian people, to German people, to Dutch people, the answer will be the same. It is a necessity now to show to fundamentalist Muslims that there are limits and that they have to obey to our laws. That's all. And now, Mr. Ramadan is Swiss citizen, that's right, and I'm sure he's a good Swiss citizen. But I heard him, I'm sure he doesn't understand the Swiss system. The Swiss system is that we have one sovereign, it is the people. And what is voted by the people is holy. Holy from a political point of view. And now I heard Mr. Ramadan criticizing what the Swiss people decide. We are a free country. We can decide what we want. There was a free debate. Mr. Ramadan was heard in many newspapers, in many TVs and radios. Everybody could say what he has to say. And now it's finished. The Swiss people has decided, and we have other things to do than discussing about minarets.